placement number 1, we got stopped out at 49.74 for a quick loss of 81 cents in one day. Okay, so this is why it's important. If you're not familiar with stop placement number 1 and stop placement number 2, once again, all the rules are outlined in the video learning section. Here was our big loser of the week in MOM. This was only a strategy number 4 signal, so we didn't incorporate a lot of other signals. We went short on the 7th at 48.27 and got stopped out immediately the next day at 51.28. So as I said, this was our big loser of the week. It gave away a lot of our gains. But let's show you what happened. Once again, we're below the buy-sell line, so we're only looking to go short. All right, here's our short setup. Here's our setup bar. Very important to know how to find the setup bar. Here's our setup bar right here. And we went short the next day once we traded below the low of the setup bar at 48.27. And here's our initial stop right here. All right. And as you can see, we got stopped out at 51.28. This was really too bad because, you know, it was our largest loss of the week. And unfortunately, once again, had we used stop placement number 2, we'd still be in the trade. And who knows, maybe next week this will come down lower. But remember, when you're deciding which stop placement to use, stop placement number 2 is going to bring on a lot more risk. Okay, it's geared for much more aggressive traders that want to be in the trade a little bit longer, but have more risk, more capital to risk. So know that going in, that instead of placing your stop at the initial stop placement here at 51.28, your stop would roughly be here close to 54.5 with stop placement number 2. So this is things once again you need to know and need to decide before you choose to take the signal. Okay, so this was our loser of the week in MOM. Now we still have a couple of stock trades that are outstanding, meaning that they're in play. They have not been exited yet, or we have not scaled out of anything. So these are stock signals that were posted on the website, just as the previous ones we just showed you, that you could have taken advantage of, or at least learned from and used as a learning tool. This was a signal we gave you in Apple on the 6th on Wednesday to go long at 289.59. Now I've gone over this before in the past. Many signals we take and we trade for our own account, but other ones I will just post for you because I know that we have a lot of option traders that like to take advantage of using our signals, but then apply them to options, to going long or short, to buying the calls or the puts. Now Apple is too much out of our price range. I'm also trading the Forex and the E-mini markets at the same time here, so we can't tie up all of our capital with one stock. But we provide these signals for option traders or for people that have enough capital to actually trade the stock. Maybe you want to trade 5 or 10 shares. But many of our option traders will like to trade these signals on the very expensive stocks because you get a larger move, anywhere from 6 to 10 to even 20 points. So that's why we mainly post these expensive stocks here to take the signals, because they work just as well. Now, as you can see here, we're above the buy-sell line, so we're only looking to go long Apple. And here was our signal bar. Here was our trigger bar to go long for the setup. Okay, and this is very important to know what the setup bar is. So you would have gone long once we traded one tick above, which was right here. So the price would have been, had you purchased the stock, 289.59. But this is where you'd purchase a long call as well. Okay, place your stop right here, right below, or once you saw that price went below that point, you would exit out of your option. And this is our fixed exit point, roughly at 297.08. So all you need to know is, if you're trading the stock, obviously you place an open order to exit. But if you're trading the option, you would have had a nice profit so far, roughly about 5 or 6 points. And once we get up to this level here, another couple of points higher, you would simply exit your option. So that's how it works. And this is a nice profit on paper, as I said, about 5 or 6 points. And hopefully, if it continues going higher next week, if you were lucky enough to purchase the stock, you would exit at 297.08, or once we got up to these levels here, 297 level, you would simply sell your call. That's how simple it would be. So this is a nice profit on paper so far. The other trade we have outstanding is in BMY. Now this is a combination of strategies 1 and 4. Well, let's look at it through the short-term strategy number 4 rules. We went long on the 6th once again Wednesday at 27.21. Now this isn't going to be a large gain here if you're trading strategy number 4. Once again, we're only looking to get short-term quick gains. But here's our setup bar. We're above the buy-sell line, so we want to go long if we trade above that. And we did. We went long at 27.21 and we placed our stop right here. Stop placement number 1. Stop placement number 2 would be somewhere around these levels here. And so our first exit, if we're trading strategy number 4, we would simply exit everything at 27.51. Just a quick 30 cents. I know it's not a lot, but once again, this is what you know going into trading strategy number 4. If you're trading strategy number 1, this is where your exit level will currently be at 28. So we invite you to follow along with these two stocks, Apple and BMY. Currently, BMY has a loss on paper, not much, but it's not really doing much. We would have hoped by now it would have shown some direction, but we're pretty much just going sideways, hovering here. It hasn't taken advantages of the moves this week in the stock market. So we invite you to follow along with both of these stocks. We're long both Apple on paper and BMY. All right, so let's recap now the weekly stock picks that were generated for this week. We had 6 trades. 4 of those trades were long trades, 2 were short. Of those 6 trades, 4 were winners and 2 were losers. So the points made or lost this week were just a little over 3. We actually had a lot more, closer to 6 or 7 points, but we had that one loss in MON. Still, a profitable week. Had you been trading anything as small as 500 shares, you would have made roughly $1,500 for this 1 week alone. Okay? But as always, the topic of this week is to know and to learn the strategy that you're trading. All right? We offer numerous strategies here at Specialist Trading, but it's so important for you to know the rules and the techniques behind each and every one, because each and every one, although we have the same entry levels, but each and every one will have different stop placement levels, will have different exit levels, and different discretionary moves in which you can add to your position or decrease from your position, move your stops or trailing stops. So there's a lot of different nuances to each and every strategy. That's why we suggest going to the video learning section, picking the strategy that works for you, instead of trying to trade each and every one of them at the same time. It's a little confusing, especially if you're new to specialist trading. Just pick 1 or 2 and then focus on those. Okay? Our edge here is about consistency. That's what we're trying to teach you. And as you can see here, the last couple of weeks with the market doing nothing, we didn't lose anything. We just pretty much just broke even as well. But now that the market's starting to tread higher, well, we're starting to see gains in our trade. We're starting to see some profitable trades here. So that's the way it is. We're just following the key of the market. We're just listening to the market and going along with whatever it's doing. Okay? Now, if you have any questions concerning what I went over today, any of these stock signals that were generated this week on our website, or any questions on the website in the video learning section or anything else, please do not hesitate to email me at stephenprimo@specialisttrading.com. Lastly, we ask that you take one last look at our disclaimer. I showed you a lot of performance results from our stock signals this past week, but remember, we can in no way guarantee that any of the results we just showed you will be repeated in the future. So as you're taking one last moment to view the disclaimer, I wish you all have a nice and prosperous and restful weekend, and we'll see you right back here next week. Bye-bye.